Why is London filled with empty homes? Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. It's a pleasure to have you with us today as we're taking a deeper look at the fascinating phenomenon that's currently taking place in London, England, and soon we might see that happen more and more throughout the world. Currently, there are over 200,000 empty homes in England, and over 10% of those you'll find in London, which are in perfect condition, yet nobody lives in them. Brand new high-rise apartment complexes are being built, bought and left empty, pushing the average person towards the periphery of the city. You might be asking yourself, why would anyone buy a really expensive home and not live in it? It's one of the ways the rich are getting richer. Let's have a look. To put it simply, rich individuals are purchasing property in London and locking its doors because the increase in property prices within the city outperforms that of investment funds or interest rates offered by banks, making it a very smart investment. The closer you are to the city center, the higher the return you'll see on your investment. These are people with deep pockets that choose to protect their investments and have their wealth flourish. In the last decade alone, prime real estate in London has almost doubled in value. London as a whole, 68% growth between 2008 and 2018. So who's buying? It's mostly crazy rich Asians who do the buying. Ever since the financial collapse, Chinese elites and rich Arabs have been on an aggressive shopping spree in London. These people want to diversify their portfolio, park their cash overseas, and enjoy the high returns. With the rise of China's super wealthy class, we've seen an influx of money pouring into commercial real estate. Let's take the most recent luxury development project in London. One Hyde Park, a luxury complex where just a few years ago, a single luxury penthouse sold for $240 million. Just to rent a two-bedroom apartment here will cost you around £5,500 per week. That's $30,000 a month. That's $360,000 per year generated from rent from a single two-bedroom apartment. Interesting to know is that 75% of the apartment owners list their flats as secondary homes. The price for a three-bedroom flat in the city center starts at $10 million, and people are buying. The rise of direct booking platforms like Airbnb has proven to be quite lucrative for those who weren't even renting out their properties, driving profits even further. Taking into account the rise in property value and the high rents practiced within the city, foreign investors look at it simply as a capital gain opportunity. But this is not something new. One of the most fascinating stories to tell is that of Billionaire's Row, where rich people bought mansions, left them to rot, and still made millions every year. Billionaire's Row. Located in North London on Bishop's Avenue, there's close to $500 million worth of prime real estate. The street is filled with $30 to $50 million mansions that are left in ruin. Most of them were purchased in the early 90s by the royal families in the Middle East. Wealthy politicians trying to escape their countries going through conflicts found themselves the right property here, but never got to live in them. The Saudi family owns multiple properties here. Mansion after mansion, found in different states of disrepair, are slowly being taken over by nature. If you feel like taking a tour, there are plenty of YouTube channels that trespass into these properties, showcasing just how bad their condition is. Yet, even with the buildings on the brink of collapse, the properties still increase so much in value, it's made for a great investment. In the 90s, you could purchase a mansion here for £1.2 million. That's around $1.5 million. The same property today would fetch at least $10 million. Why the rich don't live in London? Believe it or not, it's simply too expensive to live in London, especially if you're wealthy. It's much smarter to own property, list it as a secondary home, rent it out, or simply wait for it to appreciate in value while you live your days in a tax haven like Monaco. The UK's richest person, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, worth in the ballpark of $45 billion, in fact, just relocated to Monaco in order to save $7 billion in tax. He's not the first one to do so either. A third of British billionaires have reportedly moved to countries like Monaco over the past decade in order to avoid paying taxes. According to an investigation by The Times, 28 out of 93 British billionaires, or 30%, have moved or are in the process of relocating. By keeping your properties as secondary homes and relocating to more welcoming environments, British billionaires can save the 38.1% in UK income tax on dividends and 20% in capital gains tax on the sale of shares. Internet privacy is a big issue today. That's why we use a VPN almost all the time, especially when we're traveling. We know VPN services can be expensive, and that's why we struck a deal on behalf of the Alux community. If you go to Alux.com/VPN and sign up using the code ALUX, you'll get 75% off your 3-year plan. This is an exclusive deal we got with NordVPN. Basically, you pay less for 3 years than others pay per year. Be smart about your privacy. The future. This has been a double-edged sword for the government that proved quite difficult to solve. On one hand, you would want to increase taxes on these properties, but that only drives the natives away. Everywhere you look, new development projects are underway, but they all fall in the cycle, where the majority of residences have already been purchased before completion by foreign money. With space being so scarce in the middle of metropolitan cities, there's no way to escape this trap. Because of it, property prices are skyrocketing, and we are slowly shifting from an owner's market to a renter's one. In the near future, it will simply become impossible for middle-class citizens to afford to live in the city. Brexit has yet to be finalized, and it already had a dramatic impact on the purchase power of the British pound. For now, property prices are slowly dropping as everybody is waiting to see what's going to happen. London remains one of the most sophisticated and sought-after financial hubs of the world. But despite its former glory, there are now more alternatives for similar investments throughout the world as we see more and more people moving into the middle class. This universally drives real estate prices up, which has always been incredibly lucrative for the rich. Ironically, though, this backfires on the poor and middle classes, who are in turn being locked out of prime residential space. The rich are getting richer, while everyone else is forced to move outside of the city. We know we have a large international audience, and we're curious to know what the real estate market is like where you live. Do you see foreigners purchasing property and just holding it? Join the conversation in the comments. We can't wait to hear from you. And as a thank you for watching this video until the end, you get a bonus. Brexit might prove to be quite a lucrative opportunity for foreign investors. The pound is dropping, people are freaking out, and politicians will want to show an influx of capital. This might be one of the best opportunities to scoop up property in the UK at a discount. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.